Hello friends, so today we will see about the gastrointestinal movement. So gastrointestinal movements is nothing but if we consume a food, it needs to move continuously in our gastrointestinal tract. So it occurs when we consume a food. So when we consume a food, the rate of momentum is different for the different parts of gastrointestinal tract, and it depends upon the various neural and chemical factors. So now we will see about what are the general momentum of gastrointestinal tract. The momentum of gastrointestinal tract are regulated by the autonomic nervous system. So it is regulated by the autonomic nervous system, and the parasympathetic stimulation causes release of acetyl chloride. So this parasympathetic stimulation causes to release acetyl chloride, that which increase the momentum. So to increase the momentum, the parasympathetic stimulation causes to release the acetyl chloride, and the sympathetic stimulation is causes release to norepinephrine, which inhibits the momentum. So this sympathetic stimulation will be released norepinephrine, which inhibits the movement. And the GI hormones such as gastrin stimulates movement, while the secretion and gastric inhibitory polypeptide inhibits the movement. So these GI hormones, gastrin stimulates the movement while the secretion. So this secretion of GI hormones such as gastrin will be stimulate the movements, and gastric inhibitory polypeptide will be inhibits the movement. And there are two types of movements occurs in the GI tract. It is propulsive movement and the mixing movement. So we will see about the propulsive movement. Propulsive movement is the propel the food along with the GI tract. So when we take a food, so it is pushed into our GI tract. So this propulsive movement will be helps in the food pushing of the food along with the GI tract, and it causes proper digestion and absorption of food. So here in propulsive movement, the proper digestion and the absorption of food will be occurs. And the basic propulsive momentum are peristalsis. So it is the basic propulsive movement, that is peristalsis. Now we will see about the peristalsis. So peristalsis is a reflex response that begins with the GI wall when the stressed by the food present in the lumen. So it is a reflex that begins with the GI wall, and it will stressed by the presence of food in the lumen, and it occurs throughout the GI tract from the esophagus to rectum. So this peristalsis will be occur from the esophagus to the rectum, and the peristalsis occurs at the rate of 2 to 25 cm per minute. So it occurs for the rate of 2 to 25 cm per minute, and the peristalsis consists a ring of contraction is one segment, and respect to relaxation in immediate distal segment. So this peristalsis consists a ring of contraction. So here we can see it is a ring of contraction. So the peristalsis consists of a ring of contraction. It is the ring of contraction and in one segment, and respect to relaxation in immediate distal segment. So we can see it is the ring of contraction in one segment and respect to relaxation in intermediate distal segment. So it is the intermediate distal segment. It is the ring of contraction in one segment. So and next, a part of GI tract peristalsis occurs in the bile ducts and the uterus. So this GI tract peristalsis will be occur in the bile ducts and the uterus. The stimulation of peristalsis is digestion of gut. So this stimulation of peristalsis will helps in the digestion of the gut, and the distension stimulates the gut wall, and the contractile ring appears, which inhibits the peristalsis. So this when the distension stimulates, the gut wall will be appear a contractile ring, which initiates the peristalsis. So this peristalsis is influenced by the neural and hormonal mechanism. So it is influenced by the neural and hormonal mechanism. Sympathetic stimulation inhibit peristalsis, and the parasympathetic stimulation enhance its local hormones and also influence for peristalsis. And the peristalsis is brought about by the myoclonic plexus. So it is brought about by the myoclonic plexus. Through the myoclonic plexus only the peristalsis will be occurs, and it occurs only when the direction that from esophagus towards the rectum. So it occurs in one direction, that is esophagus to the rectum. And the occurrence of peristalsis and its movements towards the anus is termed as a law of gut. So law of gut means nothing but it is a peristalsis and its movements towards the anus. So when we consume a food, when we take in a food, it will be digested and absorbed in the peristalsis. So at the end of it moves into the anus. So it is known as a law of gut. And we will see what are the mixing movements. So mixing movements are caused by the peristaltic contraction. So it is caused by the peristaltic contraction or the local contraction. So it is caused by the peristaltic contraction or the local contraction of the small segment of GI tract. So with the small segment of the GI tract, it is caused by the peristaltic contraction or the local contraction. And these contraction, it lasts for few seconds and few contraction occur at the point of gut. So this contraction at least for the few seconds and the few contraction that occur at the point of the guts. And we will see what are the two types of mixing momentum of mixing moment. So these are the two types of mixing moment. It is segmentation contraction and the pendular movement. So we will see about the segmentation contraction. Segmentation contraction means it helps in the chop the chyme 18 to 12 times per minute. So in segmentation movement, segmentation, it is a contraction. So segmentation contraction will help to chop the chyme 8 to 12 times a minute. And the pendular movement helps in the mixing of the interstitial contacts. So this pendular movement will be help in the mixing in the interstitial contacts. And the mixing movements, so mixing movements helps in the mixing the chyme with the so these mixing movements will be helps in the mixing the chyme with the pancreatic and the interstitial secretions. By the interstitial and the pancreatic secretion, the mixing movements will be helps in the mixing the chyme, and they are also helps in the bearing fresh chyme into connect with the interstitial surface. So these will be help in the bearing the fresh chyme to connect with the interstitial surface. And next we will see about the mastication. So mastication is nothing but it is the process which food is taken into mouth is crushed into small particles by the grinding action of the teeth anterior. So mastication is nothing but it is the food taken into the mouth, crushed into small particles. So when we take a food, it is crushed into small particle by the grinding action of the teeth. So the teeth provide cutting action and the posterior teeth provide grinding action. The muscles of mastication are innervated by the various branches of terminal nerves. So these muscles of mastication is innervated by the various branches of terminal nerves. So here in mastication, if we take a food, the anterior teeth will be provide cutting action and the posterior teeth will be provide the grinding action. So in this mastication, the muscles are inverted by the various branches of terminal nerve. So the process of mastication is controlled by the nucleus in the brainstem. This process of mastication will be controlled by the nucleus in the brainstem. And we will see what is the functions of the mastication. So in functions of the mastication, it increases the surface area of by the breaking into small particles for better digestion. So as we see functions, it increases the surface area by the breaking into small particles in proper digestion. So for the better digestion, it increases the surface area and break down into small particles. And the grinding action prevents exudation of the GI tract and increases the rate of emptying of the food in the stomach. So this will be increase the rate of emptying of the stomach of the food. And we will see what is the muscles of mastication. So muscles of mastication means what are the muscles that will helps in the mastication. So in muscles of mastication, it includes masseter, temporals, pterygoids and buccinator. So these are the muscles that helps in the mastication. And we will see what is the masseter. So masseter is the it causes by the evolution of mandible. So by the mandible it causes the evolution of the so means a masseter is the evolution. So it causes the evolution by the mandible. And the temporals causes reaction of the mandible. So it temporals will be causes the reaction of the mandible, and pterygoids helps in opening the mouth and grinding movement. So here we can see that masseter will be causes evolution of the mandible, and the temporals causes rectification of mandible. So these two masseter and the temporals will be occurs at the mandible only. So masseter will be cause evolution, and the temporals will causes the retrication, and these pterygoids helps in the opening the mouth and providing movement. So this buccinator helps in the prevention of accumulation of food in the mouth. So here we can see, if we taken the food if we taken food in the mouth, it reflects inhibition of mastication muscles. So reflex inhibition of mastication muscles. Mastication muscles are nothing but masseter, temporals, pterygoids, and buccinator. And the drop of lower jaw, so lower jaw, drop of the lower jaw, reflex contraction of lower muscles. Jaw is raised, bowels is compressed. So it is the functions of mastication. Thank you friends. Please subscribe my channel, and if any mistakes, please comment me in the comment box.